U.S. President Donald Trump has agreed a 60-day ceasefire with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Trump's announcement followed several hours of meetings with Israeli officials at the White House. The draft agreement envisions Israel and Hamas using a 60-day ceasefire to negotiate a permanent end to the war and a roadmap for governing post-war Gaza. While the talks took place, Israel increased the intensity of its attack on Gaza. Hamas has said the proposal contained mostly rhetorical changes and that some of the amended language describing Trump's desire to end the war was clearly aimed at convincing Hamas to support the agreement. Hamas believes the new draft was largely a repackaging of terms that the US and Israel tried to strong-arm Hamas into accepting previously. That deal would have allowed some Israeli forces to remain entrenched in Gaza, offered no clear guarantees for a permanent end to the war, and allowed Israel to effectively maintain control of food and aid distribution in Gaza. The Trump ceasefire, like the previous one, does not take into account any of the needs of the Palestinians. The last ceasefire deal ended as Israel wanted to resume its genocide in Gaza. Israel wants Hamas removed from power, the dismantling of its military wing, and the exile of its senior commanders. It then wants Gaza to be administered by local Palestinian officials, unaffiliated with either Hamas or the Palestinian Authority, with Arab states like Egypt, Jordan, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia playing active roles in order to finance the rebuilding of the area and police it with a focus on ensuring Israel's security. The rights or interests of the Palestinians are clearly not considered by either Israel or the US, for they are deemed not to matter. Russia's presidential envoy to Afghanistan announced this week that Russia had officially recognized the Taliban-run Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, making it the first country in the world to do so. Russia's foreign ministry said that its official recognition of the government of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan will give impetus to the development of productive bilateral cooperation between our countries in various fields. Russia's formal diplomatic recognition of the Taliban underscores a broader international shift away from isolating Afghanistan's government due to human rights and security concerns and toward pragmatic engagement. Moscow's decision paves the way for it to strengthen security relations with the Taliban, which Russia has sought to do since the deadly March 2024 Crocus City Hall attack in Moscow. The Russian move represents a major milestone for the Taliban administration as it seeks to ease its international isolation. Afghanistan has always been important to Russia, and relations have been strained throughout history. Due to being connected to Central Asia, Russia throughout history has tried to expand its influence there. This culminated in the Soviet invasion in 1979, but after the US occupation from 2003, relations began to improve between the Taliban and Russia. Taliban members visited Moscow, and after the fall of the US-backed regime in 2021, relations have become deeper. For the moment, the US still maintains a chokehold over the country due to freezing billions in Afghanistan's central bank assets and enforced sanctions. It's unlikely Russia will step in for the Taliban, but once again, Russia is trying to show that it has allies and partners around the world. Whilst Russia is occupied in Ukraine, President Putin faces a new challenge in a part of southern Russia where wars killed tens of thousands in the 1990s and 2000s. The long-term leader of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, appears to be seriously ill, presenting Putin with a major internal problem, whilst the country is facing numerous external challenges. For 2 decades, Kadyrov has been the Kremlin's iron fist in Chechnya. In return for helping to brutally suppress an independence movement, he has been allowed to rule his region as a personal kingdom, crushing rivals and dissenters, as well as separatists. Mr. Kadyrov's succession plan would likely be his 17-year-old son taking over, but that would require circumventing Russian law requiring regional leaders to be at least 30 years old. Over the years, Mr. Kadyrov has become a unique figure in Putin's autocracy, enjoying far more latitude and richer subsidies than other regional leaders. He commands what amounts to his own army and has conducted something of a foreign policy of his own. Chechnya was the only region exempted from Russia's conscription when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Ramzan Kadyrov's father, Akhmad Kadyrov, supported the rebels in the Chechen War against Russia in the 1990s. The elder Kadyrov switched sides in 2000, betting Chechnya would be better off with Russia than on its own. Putin then put him in charge of the region. After his father was assassinated in 2004, Ramzan Kadyrov consolidated power. His rivals and critics have been gunned down at home and abroad. Russia's cash for stability arrangement is what has kept the Caucasus stable for 2 decades, and it remains to be seen if this can remain as the region transitions to a new leader.